Turn it up.
Hey, bro, back in the saddle, huh?
Man, yeah,
It's been a minute.
I'm getting. No, I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna make some kind of bad horse riding joke. And I'm like, that's not worth it. Yeah, back again. Boy, long time, dude. I don't even forgot how to put the old headphones on.
Yeah.
Well, what they call these things? Headphones, earphones.
Yeah, they're called cans.
AirPods,
Whatever
cans.
we want to call them.
Yeah.
We got a fun show. We've been wanting. We set out this year to do more owner stories.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're fun for us, but we've got some great feedback on other owners we brought on this past year. So we're going to do more of that. And Johnny G, good old Johnny G, was up to the task. And Johnny, the interesting thing about Johnny is he was our very first consulting client.
Yeah.
I met him when I had a small coaching business pre-Floodlight, and essentially he morphed from an executive coaching prospect into a full-on restoration consulting client, and was the genesis of you and I forming Floodlight. So that's always fun, a little nostalgic for us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but
it's those are those kinds of friendships. Really, they get built over time. It's like kind of like putting on an old pair of shoes.
Yeah,
it's just like it's just the old brother in arms. So
yeah, so you hear about his evolution, as a business owner, and talk about some of his origin story that kind of shaped who he is and how he shows up and how that's changed. Even just over the last few years, he's had a real significant kind of transformation in how he looks at the business and how he handles himself. And so it's, I think there's something in here that probably most owners will have something they can grab onto and relate to. So,
I mean, we tag into mental health and just the ramifications of that on decision-making, kind of posture in the business. I mean, we cover some territory, but the dude's just such a good-hearted guy. And he's really had some unbelievably great success just as he's matured as a business owner and individual. So, and it's always just fun to talk with old friends. So,
that's right.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I should say before before we hang up here, if you know of a business owner, you have somebody that you admire in the industry that you'd love for us to get on for owner stories, just shoot us a DM. You know how to reach out to us, Brandon Reese or Chris Nordyke on LinkedIn, and shoot us a message and say, hey, I'd love it if you get this guy or gal on. We'll do our best to get him on for one of these for another owner story.
That's right. Let's go. Well, now, Johnny G, for those loyal fans that have been in the pocket with us now for some time, they may see this as a reboot. But for the rest of the world, you may not know it happened. So, Johnny G, technically this is round 2. We're going to call this officially round 1. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me back.
God, dude, I'm going to be real honest here. I'm feeling a little rusty.
Are you?
A little rusty, a little out of pocket.
All right.
For those of you that been hanging out with Chris and I for a while, we've had some different adventures running in the background, and boy, one has kept me busy.
Burning the candle at both ends.
Burning the candle, boys and girls. And so, anyways, it's been a while since we've recorded. We gotta correct that. I blame Chris, but
well,
he may not agree.
I've been looking forward to this. Johnny, I mean, a little bit of background for folks that are sort of new or whatever. Johnny was our very first client at Floodlight. And so
I think we have his fake $2 bill he paid us, like, framed somewhere.
Yep. And so it's really been fun to journey with you, man. And along the way, we've had a lot of personal and professional conversations and learned more about your story. And part of what prompted this, apart from just wanting to have you on to talk about your experience as a business owner, is also for you to share a little bit more of your story. Like, you have a really fantastic story. I mean, it's a story of.
Did you just say restory?
I guess I did. That was clever.
Was that on purpose?
No, but let's roll with it. So to have you share your story with others, I mean, seriously though, it's a story in some ways of redemption, right? It's also like a huge story of achievement, and I mean, you're one of those American dream kind of guys, really like you're living it out, and yet it didn't start there, and so. I just think it'd be really rad for you to kind of walk people through your origin story and what exactly you're up to today. And then Brandon and I'll just pepper you with questions as we go. But
I gotta fix something. Keep going, boys.
Okay.
Don't mind me.
So Johnny, why don't you just open it up with how did Johnny get its start, and what's the origin story of Johnny Gabe, man?
So not I had a pepper pass, but we're not going to go too much into that. But
A what pass? What do you mean?
a pepper. We're not going to toss any salads here, okay, Chris?
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh,
No,
this is more fun than I was anticipating. Little insider.
yeah,
Yeah.
insider joke.
All right,
Well
just
played.
broke the ice. That's
Well
great.
played, Johnny. Well played.
Yeah, I try, man. All right, so I started my first company in 2014. Prior to that, I was in the union, and it just was not.
Team Delicious. Let's turn that mic up just a hair. I think you overcomped on me a little bit.
Oh gosh, is that better?
There we go.
Almost a little too hot. Yeah, there we go. Just about right.
Okay. All right.
All
right. We're in the zone. All right. So about 2014, I started my own construction company, and I did that for a few years. Me and my wife started it together, and she told me, you need to pay taxes and do the right thing. And I'm like, oh man, I don't really, why do I have to do that? And she's like, well, if you don't, you'll never have a company. Like it'll just always be a thing.
A side hustle.
So I listened. Yeah. So I listened to her, and then, we went and moved on, and we could never really break like $1.1 million. And I was like, what the hell? Even though $1.1 million was way more than I ever imagined making, that was a lot to me. And that I remember the first check I got, it was like for $5,000. I was so stoked. But I was like, okay, we got to figure something else out. And it was right around 2017. I met a guy named Justin, and he came on board, and he was probably one of my best hires at the time. He came in really, he helped even mold things a little bit differently. This is back when our HR department was a pair of boxing gloves and the shop floor. It's crazy. Yeah. So
those are efficient. Those are efficient HR systems. Dude, they're just not a lot of CYA attached to that.
Direct discipline. Yes.
I know, man. It was intense, and we did that for a while, man. And he was like, it's probably, if you want to grow, this is probably not the way to do it, man. He said we should rethink things. And in about, it was a 2019, beginning of the year, we just came out of a good year, but it just wasn't good enough. And I was just like, man, we got to figure something out. I got this email from a restoration company that was trying to sell us on restoration, and he did his research, and I was like, what do you think? And he said, yeah, I think we should pull the trigger on it. So we did it, and it ended up doing good, man. Our first year was like 700,000, and then like we were like, man, here we go again with this $1 million ceiling thing again. We better hire somebody that knows what the heck is going on. And then that's when we met you guys, and it was like a burden had been lifted from my shoulders. It was crazy. I was like, finally, somebody's going to tell me how to be a business person.
Little did you know what you were trading for.
Dude. Well, and the crazy part is I remember like showing up to the meetings, and I remember like the feeling like because you guys would always hold me so accountable. And like if I didn't have what it was that I was supposed to have for you guys, I just remember the awkward, like you'd look at me and say, so did you do what we asked you to do from last week? And I'm like, well, why the F do you have us if you're not going to listen to us?
Yeah, I think we did come out of the gate a little stronger with you than maybe we kind of
No, I needed it though. I was definitely one of those people. I needed it. But no, we did great, man. It was fun. But we went from what, like, I think our first year was 7. We went with you guys. It was like we went from 700,000 to like 1.7, like right away, and then it just kept going. I think we made it to like 3 million before we realized that we were missing another piece, like at the puzzle. So we found One-Tom Plumber, and I went out there and we checked it out, and I was like, man, this is this is pretty cool. I never thought about being a plumber before. And I always gave that plumbing work away, man. And like, people call you and ask you if you do plumbing, and you have to say no. And then you'd tell them, on the phone call while you're a restoration company, well, we could come out and do that. Well, they weren't interested. They wanted to figure out the plumbing first. And then after the plumbing stops being plumbing, then they'll talk about restoration. But they needed to stop flooding first. So we just always lost those calls. And yeah, we were just like, it makes sense. It makes total sense. One of the biggest things we were still in the thought process of that. I think one of the biggest things was like the turning point for us was when we were at it was during one of those polar vortexes, and it was like it was a deep freeze for like a week straight, and we get this call from one of our property management accounts, and it's a pretty big one, and they said that the water main broke and they needed our help, and it's flooding. We get out there and we're like, where is this even coming from? It's just like water pouring out of the cracks of the concrete inside of this brand new store. We're like, okay, well, we got to call a plumber. And we just listened to this podcast, we heard about One-Tom and all that stuff right before this. And I called 21 plumbers, and of the 21 plumbers, only 4 people responded. And of those 4, 1 showed up. That happened on a Friday. And on a Tuesday, that 1 came out. So that many days later, and they couldn't find. So, and that was their emergency call. So that was their emergency response time. Jeez. So they get out there,
4 days
and
solid.
Yeah. They get out there and they shut the water off. And when they shut the water off, they had to dig through ice just to get to the stop box. So they shut the water off. Yeah, they get the water off, and then they come out, and a couple days later to repair the thing. And they ended up charging. Now that I know what these things are, they ended up charging for a 2-inch main line. It was like $100,000. I was like, "You got to be kidding me!"
You're like, I'm going into plumbing.
Yeah, I was like, "Man, I'm in the wrong business. These guys were here for 2 days." So, needless to say, it ruined our relationship with the property managers because we referred them and they got taken for a ride. So we were like, we had to do something. We got to figure something out.
Gosh, I didn't even. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, right.
That detail. Like I forgot about that being a catalyst for that decision.
Yeah. It was, and it was crazy because the way it happened was like, you coming in and you're the knight in shining armor, but then you realize that you're really not. You depend on another company to have your back and do the right thing, but you can't control what somebody else does.
Yeah.
So we learned that lesson pretty quick, and then that was it. From there, I was like, we're buying plane tickets out to this place. We went out there. Man, Rocky was a character.
Oh yeah.
I went out there, and I was gonna. We were really thinking about it, but then I remember them telling us, they're like, "Man, to be honest with you, we appreciate you guys coming out, but we have to vote you guys in." And I was like, "Oh man, this is
that point.
Yeah." I was like, "What the hell?" I hope they pick us. I hope they pick us. But they did end up picking us, man, and it ended up being a good thing. I mean, where we're at now compared to where we were at then, it's really helped a lot of things. For one, it's helped our restoration company a lot. We just took a phone call now 2 weeks ago for a commercial loss. They would not have called our restoration company, but they called our plumbing company because it's so much easier. I can't even tell you, man, like when you go into property management companies and all these other companies and you're like, "Hey, I'm John from One-Tom Plumber." They're like, "Oh yeah, come in. This chair's been waiting for you the whole time. Like, here, you want a drink or something?" Right. You go in there as a restoration company, man, they're like, I'm in a meeting. Yeah, I'm in a meeting. Leave me alone. Didn't I tell you guys already not to come back? So it's like such a different feeling, man. But anyway, this company called us, and they had a water leak in their hotel. Oh, a pipe burst in their hotel, and it flooded the whole hotel. It was $100,000 job.
Nice.
That we would not have gotten had it been for the plumbing company, but the opportunities do come a lot more than they used to. We're always seeing mold. We're always seeing water damage. I mean, you're the first guy there.
Yeah. You feel more in control of that
Yeah.
relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. But the biggest problem with plumbing though, is I know they're going to hate me for this, but the biggest problem with the plumbing companies, man, is plumbers are they're really rare, and the issue is when you get a plumber, uh it is so hard to like break the bad habits of a journeyman plumber. And I say that in a like, not every plumber is a bad, like you know what I mean, but like most of the plumbers that I've interviewed, or journeyman plumbers that they want $80 an hour, whatever, you know what I mean, they want the whole thing. And I get it. They went through the classes, they put their they got their tenure, but it's so hard to like teach them your values and your ways, right? So we just stopped. We stopped hiring plumbers with experience, and we just have a certain amount of journeymen on staff that we've handpicked, and we have a training facility. So we breed our own plumbers in house, and we don't even look outside of that box anymore. We have a whole training facility here where our guys literally can absolutely do everything, from everyday plumbing to drain cleaning, all in this one facility.
That's super cool.
So
That's not very old. You didn't do that very long ago.
No, just recently, a couple. Let's see, we're on our second round of candidates. So this is our second class we've done. Our first class got out, and there was a set of 4 guys in that class.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because and this is how we see it now. So we hired the plumbing sales coach, Chris Fresh.
Okay. Yeah. We got to get him on the show. We keep threatening.
He's scheduled.
Oh, that's right.
Is he?
It's super fun. Yeah.
All right. And I sent you guys the picture to show on the screen so you can see who the Chris Fresh is. You should flip to it right now.
Yeah. We'll have to, we'll make sure
Yeah.
that we
point.
This is Chris Fresh. Yeah.
It's going to show up later. Yeah. We're not that cool,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Calm
down.
Oh, damn. All right.
Yeah.
So this is, so we hired Chris Fresh, and man, he took us. I remember he was like, I'm like, man, you know how I am, right? I'm like, I call him. I'm like, Chris, I need to talk to you. I got a problem, man. I don't know what's going on. The cash flow sucks. This, that, and tell him all the problems. He's like, let's see. Oh, he's like, oh man, somebody's stealing money from you. And I was like, what? Oh, hell no. Team meeting right now.
Which one of you is it?
Who is it? Who did it? And come to find out, it wasn't that. What we had was a capacity problem. I have plenty of money. It was a capacity problem. So what happened was our guys our guys are doing 6 to 8 jobs a day. And wow. Can you imagine doing 6 to 8 jobs a day?
Wow.
So we came up with a plan. Now our guys are doing I think our average is like 1.9 or 2, between 2 and 3 jobs a day. No more. The quality is way better. We have more guys to do it because we have more, we control our flow of guys now. And we teach them in house. So we hire based on culture now. We don't hire for experience anymore. We just want a good person because we're putting these people in people's homes, and I just don't want to guess. So our guys are pretty young, but they're sitting under journeyman. They have to be with us for a year. We put them through school, all that whole 9 yards, like actual school, plumbing school. And they get benefits and all the perks that of all the greatest unions there are with vacation.
Yeah. That's pretty epic, man. And that picked up pace substantially over the last less than a year. You really investing in that.
Yeah, so in 24, from June of 24 to December of 24, we did not have we didn't hire Chris until November, but from there to there we did 700,000 or no 800,000 in sales, and then the next year, which was 25, we did 2.2 million.
Big jump
in sales. Yeah. And this year I think we'll either do close to 3 or right at 3. maybe a
Nice.
little bit more.
Yeah.
And we could do more. It just depends on how many guys we get in the flow. You know, I'd like to have like 10 trucks on the road in the next few months. So right now we have seven
Man, that's
trucks on the
huge.
road.
You're
It's
moving.
incredible, man.
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
moving. That's right.
But I wouldn't listen. I would not have done that had it not have been for Chris, because
Yeah.
he absolutely showed us. He's like, it's like he has this like magic recipe, man. And he's like, and I don't want to give his secrets away. So, but like,
Yeah, you can't, don't talk for him.
yeah. So he has this like recipe, man. And he's like, this is how you do it. And he's like, what number do you want to get to? And I told him, he's like, here's the layout. It's simple. He's like, I'm not a very smart guy. He's like, but this is how I do it. He's like, I break it down so it's simple. I'm like, oh, wow, that is so easy. Why did I not think about that? You're a freaking genius. Yeah, he won't take credit for being a genius.
Yeah, what does he call himself? The plumber whisperer or something? Isn't there?
Yeah.
There's some kind of side channel there.
But
That
a great guy, man.
by the way.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. All right, so I got to ask you some real questions. Now that you're
Do it.
done like telling us how rad at business you are, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this thing.
Yeah.
So when you were making some of this transition from the early phases of the unnamed restoration company that you own, I don't know if you did that on purpose or not, but
No,
follow your lead on it. As you were kind of transitioning in the early phases of that, and then onboarding this plumbing, division, if you will, it's its own brand, but this other arm of your business, how were you balancing onboarding and starting something new while still maintaining this business that had been, at this point, you're several years old? What were you doing to ensure that you didn't throw a hand grenade in the base business that you'd already put all that time and energy into?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I won't lie. Like, I kind of did throw a hand grenade in the restoration, just because I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. I lost my drive for it because the unnamed company, I just wasn't feeling it anymore, man. I had been thrown to the wolves, and I was treated pretty bad. So I was just like, you know what, like I'm under this is my new girlfriend.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I can't even take credit for it. Man, I have such an amazing set of people, man. Like, and I'm so blessed to call them my friends and my teammates. Justin, I've lost some guys along the way that were great. We had Chad was amazing, man. He helped us at the beginning. My cousin Mikey, but Justin, and now we got a bunch of good people, man. Liz, she's our rock star in the office. And then Josh, all these guys just put so much work into, like, and it's they're so selfless, man, and I love it. But it's just, I don't know, like if I didn't have a team, what I'm trying to say is if I didn't have a team like that, none of this would be possible, because you can't do this by yourself. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
You're not. And my wife, like, super understanding. Like, she's got my back through everything. Like, if I didn't have that, like, I'd be toast.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because I mean, this is kind of insider a little bit just because we've known you
Yeah.
for so long. I think, like, for a lot of business owners, the relationship with our personnel, it can be tough to manage, right? There's a lot of give and take. There's a lot of ego checks, I think, for us as leaders to make sure that we can meet our people where they are. And I struggle. I definitely struggle with, there's times where I feel like I'm in the flow on that. And there's times where I feel like I'm definitely out of the flow. But anyways, my point in saying all that is I've been kind of watching you, not only from inside the business when we were working together, but just over the years, kind of as you continue to develop and grow the business. And it feels like your posture with your employees has shifted quite a bit. Like, I'm just thinking old days Johnny G, when I first met you versus where you are today. Like, some kind of life happened in between there. And I'd like to kind of pull that out a bit if you're willing to.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you mind? Like, I'll do some context drawing, and then you can tell me if I'm completely.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Say whatever. This no holds barred.
No holds barred. Well, except for some.
Oh yeah. No salads. Don't toss any salads, man.
Yeah, we're not talking about salads. All right. So.
Oh man, are you building up the intrigue?
I kind of feel like it's one of those things. Like, where'd the meow thing come from? Was that right meow? Like, it's
yeah.
one of those.
Yeah.
All right. We
stop
digress. Okay. So when we first started working together, Johnny, there was a little bit more just venom in you. Like when you would get frustrated with a situation or
Yeah.
angry at something that you were experiencing or seeing in the business, that energy like held like that was hard for you to shed and approach every situation freshly. And it feels way different now when we interact with you. Like your behavior, your kind of your posture has changed there. What's going on? What am I experiencing?
To be honest with you, man, like you guys personally coached me, and not only business but personally too.
So I didn't tee that up, just for a disclaimer. I wasn't like trying
No,
to tee up the
yeah,
pit.
no, you definitely did though. Like you guys coached me, and like I remember I'd call you just for personal advice, man. You guys were a big. I mean, that's when you guys had time, like you're like, oh yeah, John, I'll take a. Uh, I'm on vacation, but I can take your call, like whatever, yeah. Morning coffee with Chris on Sunday. That was awesome. I've got quite a few of those calls.
I do remember
But
that. That conversation started with me on the toilet, just so you know.
yeah,
Just how dedicated
nice.
we are to our clients.
That's right. No holds barred.
Yep. But really, just like you gotta want it, man. And I'm one of those people that I want to say that I'm self-aware, and I own my mistakes. Like maybe not right away, because I don't think anybody owns it right away. Like no, not especially as a man, you don't want to be wrong. Right. I struggled with, my mental health was really bad for a while there. You guys were with me for that. I went through, what is it? It was 2020 to 2022. I was battling, that was the anxiety. I had anxiety and panic attacks so bad that, it tore me down. It broke me down as a man. And I didn't even know what the heck hit me. I was like, what? I don't even know what's going on. So I trapped myself in my house for 2 years. It destroyed me. And I looked for counselors. I finally found one that they told me, well, we can help, because I was literally, I told the last guy that I called, I was like, you're the end of the road, man. There's no more people to call. Google ran out of names. After this, I don't know if there's going to be another call, to be honest with you, man. And that was I was in a dark place, man. I didn't want to die. Like I didn't want to die. Like I just didn't want to feel the pain anymore. Like I just didn't understand what was wrong with me. And you guys were super accommodating. You guys helped me through that. That's really helped. And my wife, man, like although she didn't understand it, and it was hard for her. Like, I got to give her credit, man. She really did. Like she was there 100%. Like never gave up. Like she got close, you know what I mean? Because that's hard for your spouse. Like you're like, please don't leave. Like I don't know what the hell's going on, man. I feel like I'm dying. Like what the hell? Like call an ambulance. Like if anybody's ever experienced it, that's what I was going through, man. And I just I went through that, and then that really changed like my perspective on things. So then it humbled me enough to try to be a better person. And then I went from that point in my life to I the road got rocky, with me and my wife, and we actually split up for a while, and almost we came. I think we were like maybe like it was like 20 days away from actual divorce. Like we had the papers filed, we went to court, we signed the papers, like the judge almost ruled on it. And then we found each other again, man, and like she's been such like she's my inspiration, and she's really, I mean, like she's the one that's like she's always in the back. They what's that saying? They say behind every strong man is an even stronger woman. I really believe that, man, because like it, if it was like I feel like whenever I'm like I'm about to do something, I say, yeah, okay, let's go.
Like is the wind in my back?
Yeah. We good? Okay, let's go. And she's like, yep, it's good. Or she's there to be like, and even though I don't like it, sometimes, I really do appreciate, but I just, I owe it all to her and my kids for understanding. I have such an amazing family, dude. I'm so blessed. I'm rich beyond anybody's wildest dream. Like I have everything that I could ever possibly want in life. Like if I asked for anything more, I would just be a greedy piece of crap. Like I really, dude, I really do have everything. So I think that's really, really it. Like I don't. I mean, and then I put the hard work in, obviously, right? But
Yeah.
uh, it
Can I
just
ask you more
it.
about that, like the hard work side? Because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I believe your foundation did shift, right? Like you went through this
yeah,
experience that we saw from a distance that clearly shook things up. But
yep.
at some point, like you said, like there's work required. It's not just you go through a
Mm-hmm.
thing and you're a different person. You go through the thing and it drives some decisions, right? Or makes you
Yep.
feel like you're at the breaking point, the bottom, whatever. And you
Mm-hmm.
started to put in some work. What's the work? Like when you say that, what are you talking about? What did it look like day to day?
The work. Man, just showing up consistently every day. I've always gotten up early, but like, I'd slack on my physical health, which ultimately, cuts into your mental health. So I'd slack on that, and I had to really change that up. Being intentional with the things that I did and said, like put my phone down when I'm at home was a big thing. Knowing when to stop. That was because I didn't know when to stop. Like they were just, me, I never stopped. Like it was just always, I had to have something going on. So that was a big thing. Uh, eh, I mean, really, other than that, it was just showing up every day, going to counseling. Me and my wife go to couples therapy, marriage counseling, quite a bit. So, uh, we stay adamant. We're adamantly in that. Man. I don't really know, man. Much other than that, just I mean, you just gotta work hard at it. You gotta show up every day with intention, and you got to be willing to change the things that are messed up.
Okay, I want to double click on this. I want to
Yeah.
hang here.
Yeah,
We're going to
hang
spiral
in the
around a
pocket.
little bit
I
more
kind
for a
of
minute.
figured you would. So I was like, dude, when are you
Yeah.
going to take a
You
Yeah.
know,
picture?
Johnny, you've heard Brandon and I talk about this before, and we've like spoken about this at conferences. But there's this idea that as owners and leaders, there's certain sort of knee jerk behaviors that we bring to the table, present day, that are anchored to things that have happened to us in the past or experiences we've had. In some cases, you might call it traumas, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And past work experiences, and like for Brandon and I, both of us have our own set of experiences from how we experienced our fathers, right? As an example, like our early childhood family culture and stuff like that. And connecting those dots and kind of learning about those things has been really transformative for Brandon and I to recognize,
Yeah.
okay, hey, this behavior, this natural reaction I have in certain situations,
I
it's
see what you're
tethered,
getting at.
right? And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just curious for you to reflect on that, dude, and like what have you
yeah.
learned about yourself, and
Well,
where maybe some of the anxiety or the reactive
maybe my
response.
origin. Yeah, maybe my origin story wasn't detailed enough. Then, uh, so rewinding back a little bit further, I lived in Philadelphia when I was a kid. That's where I grew up, and when I was a kid, I grew up with my aunt, my uncle, my mom and her husband, and then my dad and my stepmom. And every household that I was in as a child, I was abused and um, physically and mentally, and it just was not fun at all, man. And then I grew up in the hood in Philadelphia, uh, and on my dad's birthday, and I got shot in the chest with a 12 gauge shotgun twice. Well, once in the chest, once in the arm, and I was just doing the wrong thing. Being a knucklehead kid. I my this girl that lived on our block. We just came home from my dad's vacation for his birthday. This girl across the street says, "Oh yeah, my boyfriend hit me or whatever." Like it is something like that, and we was like, "Oh, let's go find him." And I wasn't even supposed to leave the block. I was grounded. I left the block and went and go knocked on this guy's door and said, "Hey man, is your son there?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "But you better get off my porch." And I was like, whatever. I was like, how about you come out here and I'll beat you up?" And I was a young kid. I was 14 years old, and thought I could beat the world, man. And he slammed the door, and I was like, "Yeah, that's what I thought." I don't know, whatever I said, and took a few steps back, get to the sidewalk, and then I see the door swing open, and I flash, and then I was on the ground,
Oh,
And I didn't know what happened. And I'm like, what the hell? I get up and I'm like, what the heck happened? My hand's on my chest and look up and I see another flash, and I realize, damn, I'm getting shot. And then that time hit me in the arm. I get up and he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then like out of nowhere, my friends came, grabbed me under the arms, and ran me to my neighbor, the neighbor's house, and put me on the ground, laid me on my back, and put my feet up on a trash can. And they were like, I was looking up, and I just remember like they're like, stay with us. The ambulance got there. I just remember looking at the ambulance guy, and I was like, man, I don't want to die. And he's like, just stay with me, kid. I was like, I'm so tired. And he's like, I know, you got to keep your eyes open, man. You got to stay awake. And that's all I remember is just like, I just need to fall asleep. And I felt like I was falling asleep. And then I just remember waking up in the hospital, and my dad was drunk. He came up to the hospital and he's like, well, LJ, your blood really is red. I'll never forget that. And I was like, man, what a crappy thing to say to your kid. You know what I mean? When he just got shot. But, it is what it is. Take it with a grain of salt. I just, it was in that moment I realized, man, I need to do something. But I got out of that situation, and all the kids were like, that my new nickname, oh, he's bulletproof. That dude, he don't never die. He nothing could kill him. And I just remember being like the coolest kid in the neighborhood because I survived getting shot with a 12 gauge. They were like, it was crazy. It was crazy. But
dude,
yeah,
there's so much. I mean, that's just a hard story to like just unpack. And like, thinking through all the different characters in that, like that dude that answered the door and pulls a 12 gauge on a 14-year-old kid, regardless of what's coming out of their mouth. Just a sign of how much just trauma and ugly that was present at that time in that part of the
yeah. And he died. He died since then. But man, it was it was crazy. Yeah, I couldn't imagine shooting a 14-year-old kid for. I mean, unless if somebody's threatening your life and they have a gun themselves, right? Obviously, you're going to protect yourself. It's you or him. Yeah. But I was there by myself at his door, like, bring it, talking shit. He should have called the cops for sure. Yeah, he definitely should have called the cops.
Or just punched in your smart mouth.
Yeah, like smack me up and take me home. My dad would have whooped. That would have been any worse than any shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh man, like, hey, you got your son, his little smart mouth. Boy, now, he did.
One of the things that I remember you talking about, Johnny, on this though, is that you also have a heart for the guys and gals that are coming up, right? And that maybe their lifestyle, their background, like those guys and gals looking for a second chance. That means something different to you than a lot of people. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So where I grew up, man, and what my past, I really even I was say this story real quick, but even like when we had, so I had a an incident. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was like early on, and I went to this fire job, and I spent so much time like with this customer and like getting the customer like ready for the what was going to happen and all that stuff, and then another company came in and stole it. Do you remember this story?
I think I do.
I think so.
Ah, man, I don't know how you can forget it. So I go to the it's a weekend, and I call this guy's company. It's a pretty big company, man. And I don't know what I was thinking. Again, this is before me, right? And I don't know what I was thinking. I call this guy, and I'm like, I don't know who the F you think you are. You're just gonna steal my job. Send your people in there. I was like, I'll mess you up. I obviously said more words than that, but where are you gonna be? Where are you gonna be next Tuesday? Yeah, where you gonna be next Tuesday? I got something for you, bud. And he's like, man, I remember what he says. He's like, yeah. He's like, you show up wherever you want, man. He's like, I'll tell you this right now. He's like, if you think this is how you're gonna do business, he's like, you won't last long in this town. And he's just the old like, you could tell. I mean, his company's been around for 40 plus years, man. They're an amazing company. I'd say that today, dude. They really are. They're an amazing company. But
that's awesome.
I don't know what the hell I was thinking back then, man. I was like, I punch owners in the mouth.
Yeah, it sounds like 14-year-old Johnny came out.
I know, man, and I really was too, man. I was like, I'd see a dude, and I'd be like, I wish you would come in my shop. I'll throw all your equipment right out the door. They were like, man, he's vicious. Guys, I don't do that anymore, man. I don't do that anymore. I pay my guys to do that. I'm just kidding. I don't do that. We don't do that.
Yeah, you got people for that now.
Yeah, I got people for that.
man.
I got a guy.
Philly came
No,
for
no.
you, huh?
Yeah, no, I don't do that shit, man. But no, I look back at that and it's really embarrassing, man. I know I laugh about it now, but it's really embarrassing. Like I can't believe that some of the things that I did as even as an adult, man, like, like I really, I'm like, wow, what the heck was I thinking?
Yeah.
But kind of is what it is. I learned from my lessons and my mistakes.
That's right. That's right. It's funny. Somebody sent me a post. I think it might have been my wife actually sent me this post, and it's this guy. I don't know who he is. Could be famous. I don't know. He's not famous in my ecosystem. So, anyways, this dude is just talking about like there's these words popping up on the screen. It's like,
Yeah.
The average new entrepreneur is 42 years old. The average, artist that gets whatever opportunity is like in their 40s. Like they just go through all these things. Like in real life, when you're off YouTube, like what really happens historically and by data is that all these things happen to people in that kind of very late 30s up into 50 years old, that time window.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking about how as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, like how often I've felt like, man, if only I would have learned this earlier, if only I would have not understood this when I was a younger man, or I feel behind, I feel late. And the reality of it is, I think statistically, is this is an age frame, late 30s to early 50s, where the combination of life, time and grade, exposure to different relationships, different realities, seeing the world a little bit bigger than maybe you thought it was, it causes you, it's a catalyst for you to change and mature in so many meaningful ways, right? And it's like, I guess my point is that listening to a guy like you, for people that know the history, that kind of darker history, colored history, is not way, 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 way off in the past. It followed you for a while.
Yeah.
But you're in that age now where so much change is happening. Like that age catalyst, that experience catalyst is just making you into a fundamentally different man. And the fruit of that change, of you living out this new version of yourself, is exponentially greater than anything you were able to create in the past. Right. And I just see it. So that's kind of what triggered the question in the first part, is like the Johnny I knew even a few years ago, super high strung. I mean, it was like chasing a fucking squirrel on crack. Like you just were constantly in motion and buzzing. And it felt like a lot of times just you were trying to outrun your own shadow. And now you're just a different man. It's like you've slowed down a little bit. You're more intentional, like you're more comfortable in your own skin, and the people around you experience it and watch what's happening to your business. Like what you've done in One-Tom versus your restoration company, the hits, the misses, the startovers, versus what you've been able to produce now. Like, man, dude, I just want to affirm you for whatever it's worth. Like it's obvious.
Yeah, I appreciate
from my
it.
perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate it. My goal though is to, I want to create like a program that really can give back. Like when I was a kid, I didn't have any like resources, and even, I mean, small town Des Moines, Iowa, like we don't really have stuff for, kids that want to do something with their life. Like before they decide, you know what, I'm going to go sell drugs, because weed carts and all that stuff is really easy to do. It's like the new hustle, right? It's the new crack. And it's really they really don't have nothing other than, they can go to the union and stuff like that, but what else do they have, right? So my goal is we're opening our second location in Cedar Rapids here in the next 30 days. My goal here is to we're going to build the brand to a certain point, a certain EBITDA, and then we plan on selling most of it. We're going to keep our main location, right? But this is going to be our legacy location, and then we're gonna sell all of our other branches and take that money and put it to good use. I want to open up a facility where I can teach guys to plumb and teach them. There's more money in the trades, for service than there is anything else. I mean, my average plumber, making 80,000 a year in the first year. I got guys that are making over 100,000, over 130,000 as plumbers in my company. Yeah, like, man, Justin, phew, I've never paid anybody that much money. I seen his thing, his year to date on January, and I about fell out of my chair. I was like, wow, I paid him that much. Holy cow. But it makes me feel good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like it like, if I could just show that to people and be like, look, you don't have to do those things. You can make more money and it feels better. You know what I mean? Like the Chris Fresh approach is, the Chris Fresh approach, we really adopted it, man. Always be, he has this sticker. I don't know if it says always be closing, but it crosses out closing. It says serving. Man, that's our motto. We really live by it, man.
That's good.
We really do. We really live by that. And that's like, I'm religious, right? I believe in God and I go to church. Like, I don't push my religion on anybody. I don't do that. It's not the type of Christian that I am. But, I really believe that if you do good and you do things with intention and you do it for the right reason, you can 100% guarantee, as long as there's hard work to back all of that, that everything that you want in your life will come to fruition. Like, you just have to really put the hard work in. And like, you can't be out there ripping people off, you know what I mean? Because eventually that shit's going to catch up to you. And that's just, I really firmly believe that, man. I just rehired my very first employee. I'm going to tell you guys this. My very first employee that I ever had in my first company, I just rehired him in the plumbing company. And it felt so good. Like, like when you're talking to somebody and they tell you stories of how you used to be, and you're like, yeah, no, really? That's how I was? Like, is that really? Dang, I didn't realize that I was that bad. You know what I mean? Like, like I hear it now and it doesn't even, like, it doesn't register that's who. I'm like, who did that?
Yeah.
No, there's no way. Like, I remember this story. And we just laugh and joke. We have our morning meetings on Fridays, our culture meetings, and he tells stories about that stuff. But he's like so happy now, like, whereas before, like, my goals were always the same. And I just I always wanted to give guys a home that they loved and they wanted to come to, but like, I didn't have the right guidance, man, until I met you guys. And that's really where my life pivoted.
Dude, I want to hang in the pocket on that culture meeting thing. So one of the things that we did witness with One-Tom is they have a production meeting of sorts, but they have this very specific Friday culture meeting. Do you mind just kind of walking us through the principles of that, what you guys do, what kind of effect you've seen it have on your business and your clients, things like that?
Yeah, no, I love it. We cook breakfast for our whole team every Friday. Usually I'll either order it or I'll cook it. And we just sit down for an hour, man. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world, what chaos is happening. I don't care how many jobs we have. We shut it down from 7 to 8. And we don't talk about nothing but them. That's it. I talk about their goals. What are they doing this weekend? How'd their week go? And I don't care about anything work. I want to hear about their personal lives. How's your kids? How's your mom? How's your dad? What's your girlfriend doing today? What you got planned for this weekend? And I always hold my guys really accountable, man, especially my men. And I'm sure they're going to listen to this. They know that I'm not lying. I hold my men really accountable. So I want to see them be good men, right? So like we had a couple guys that I didn't think were going to make it. I'm not going to lie. and I look at them now and I'm like, dude, like we have a mentorship program in our company, and everybody gets mentored by somebody. And man, it really has changed the way, because one thing men don't like to talk about is their mental health, or what's going on or what's wrong, or what I'm saying. It's always, I'll be all right. I can handle it. It's okay. And I really hope my guys got like, they get what are you doing for your wives for things for Valentine's Day? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was gonna go get her flowers. That's not good enough, man. I want to hear you say something positive. Like, what are you gonna do for her? Because just because you make the money doesn't mean that you're the man, but that's not enough, man. You gotta give back too. Not just once a year neither. Like, so I push these guys, man. I'm like, hey, so what's going on? How's it going? What are you doing for mama? I really hold them accountable. So
And that a lot of that comes out then during the Friday culture meetings. Like, and you're doing that. This isn't one-on-one. You're doing this as a group, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I hold people accountable as a group, and not in a negative way. So nothing negative happens on Friday, but like, I don't hold them accountable in a group in a negative way. So if they did something wrong, I don't, have that. No, that's not the time. But, and if I do say it in a group, I never point somebody out. Now, the guy, if you point yourself out, then that's on you. You're going to get it. But you know what I mean? If we're having a group discussion where it's a learning experience, then let it be a learning experience. Don't do that to yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Don't do that. I've had a couple guys do that, man, and they regret it instantly. But, yeah, no, honestly, man, it's just really, we really take this serious, man. And we've had coaches along the way, you and Chris Fresh, and you guys both have changed our lives in so many ways and helped us in so many ways that it's been epic, man. I owe you guys all the credit, and my team. I can't take. I'm just here sitting in my chair with Larry Bird jersey behind me, bro.
It's so interesting, man, because I think that every time as leaders we take on a different lift, it is going to stretch. It's going to require a different level of mentorship and leadership. And, in full transparency, man, I almost hate saying this, but I feel like it's a commitment that we've made to the audience is I'm probably in the least confident state I've been in as a leader for a while. And that's actually not a negative thing. So anybody that's hearing that, I want to just be really clear. I don't mean that as a negative. I just mean like there's an element of kind of refining the base and refining where you can prioritize certain initiatives inside your business. And with Floodlight, we had kind of gotten to a point where, and part of it was just the team membership as well, right? Where we're really able to spend a lot of time in kind of this higher level thinking, higher level kind of conversations with our team. And I'm finding myself right now a little bit out of sorts as we realign and kind of find base and find that footing again. Like where do we want to continue to incorporate and adopt these elements into the culture at the company? And it's just a good reminder, man, if I'm just really transparent with you, it's a good reminder even for me to hear you talking about a business your size. Again, that's not negative. And how you right now out of the gate, regardless of size, are committed to and leveraging culture and culture commitment right out of the gate. And the profound impact it's having on your business is just really a great reminder. And so I just say that so that anybody that's listening, like, I think it's really common for us to make excuses of when we're going to prioritize cultural elements, and we probably give ourselves ways out to not be committed to that and prioritizing it along the side, all these other kind of financial based initiatives that we focus on. And I just really appreciate you sharing that and hearing that. And I needed that. Like, I need that reminder personally to make sure that I don't get out of lockstep with that commitment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's great, man. I have imposter syndrome though, so it's hard. Like I think a lot about that, and I'm just like, man, I know I put a lot of work in, but I don't like to take all the credit, because I know that if it wasn't for these guys, like I'm gonna make some of these guys millionaires, and then I want to be. I don't know any business owner that is really saying that and really meaning it, but I'm gonna make some of these guys millionaires, and then the rest of them I'm gonna make really wealthy. And those the ones that are gonna hang on are gonna be the ones that go for that ride, man. And I got a lot of really good, solid people in my corner, man, that would literally do anything for me. And I could call them anytime of night, day or night, and they would be like, "Yep, I'm on my way." I'll give you a real quick story. I had a guy that I was like, I'm firing him. So it's a Sunday, and this happened just recently. I was like, it's a Sunday. I'm like, I'm firing this guy. Hey, Josh, I need you to come in. I know it's your day off, man. And he answers the phone, and it sounded something like this. Hello. What's up, Johnny? And I was like, you okay? And he's like, oh, man, I'm fucking sick as a dog. I said, oh, man. He's like, why? What's up? What do you need? And I'm like, well, man, I'd feel bad asking for it now. You just told me you're sick as a dog. He's like, no, what's going on, man? I'm up. I'm like, I was going to fire this guy, but now, now that I found out you're sick, I'll probably just go out myself. I'm not going to fire him. And he's like, no, I'm getting dressed right now, man. I'm coming in. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm sure. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. And he's like, no, man, I'm coming in. I was like, all right. Hang up the phone. Call Justin. I'm like, I'm sitting in front of Justin. I'm like, man, he said he's coming in. He's like, John, I think you overreacted. This is what happened. He showed me what's going on. And I look up at the board. I'm like, oh yeah, let me call this guy back real quick. And I call him back. I was like, yo, we're just testing, dog. I'm just playing. And he's like, what? I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. I wasn't testing. I knew you'd have my back, but no, I told him the story, what happened. And he's like, oh man. He's like, oh shit, I was already dressed. I was like, man, I fucking love you, dog. Like Josh, like any one of these guys, man, they would jump to whatever I needed in a heartbeat, man. And and the same for their team. And that's the guys that I hire. I won't hire a guy in my organization if they're not like that. And if they are, we figure it out. I don't care how they can be the best plumber in the world. I don't care if they don't have that. They don't stay here. They just don't stay here. And I'll expose you eventually. Like you could fake it. Anybody can fake it. You can get past me. I've been tricked a few times, but I'm gonna find out, and you'll be gone. I've done it. I've had Justin look at me like, yo, why did you just fire him, man? We needed that guy, and I'm like, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. I promise you, man, we didn't. But they trust me. They trust me, and I love that, man. I love that they trust me so much, man. I just. Yeah, it's an amazing feeling.
People aren't going to give you that unless you earn it, and clearly you've done a lot to earn that. Well, brother, dude, not surprising. Fun conversation. Obviously, you're always great at just being real and honest about it, and so we appreciate that. And, inevitably, you're going to continue to do some really cool stuff, and we're going to have to get you back on to talk about the new phase of what you're spending your time and energy on, obviously, and then of course we won't let you out of our sights anyway. So
I appreciate you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for hanging out with us, man. Much love and respect as always.
Same to you.
All right, amigo. We'll see you.
All right, buddy.